What's going on, everyone? It is Nick with Us versus Herd. So I'm making sure everything is right here. CPI came out this morning. Market's been wild ever since open. We're going to be taking a look at what the stock market's doing now, how we can prepare for this for tomorrow, going into Power Hour here. Been a while since I did a Power Hour stream, and let's see what happens. Let's see what's happening. What's going on, Chase? If you're here right now, say what's up. Say what's going on. See what we're doing. What are we doing today? Make money, lose money. Market's been all over the place. All right. Let's see what we're doing. All right, so right now we have the S&P's down 2, Dow is down 97, NASDAQ up 35. So just kind of flat, kind of back to flat here. I mean, if we're taking a look, so this is NASDAQ here. Let me zoom in on NASDAQ. So I've been trading a lot of NASDAQ, as a lot of you guys know. I mean, we're basically back into where the overnight chop was. So overnight chop. Let's see here. I can't highlight it. My highlighter is not working. Don't worry. I'll straighten all this out once we get back to like regular streams, regular programming. I'll straighten all this out. So I don't like to really take a position right here, like on the NASDAQ right now, because we're just like in the overnight chop range right now on NASDAQ. We floated up to 850. 11,850, kind of just pinging back between 800, 11,800, 11,850. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right here. Doesn't really interest me that much, to put a position. I don't really feel like getting long or short today in nasty day to trade. Yeah, man, I lost about 100, 150 today, and honestly, I just didn't really. I probably could have got it back, but I just didn't really feel like battling the market today. I mean, that's just me, I just didn't feel like battling it. I just, interesting thing going on here right now. They have been holding, so this is the NASDAQ. They've been holding it below the 10-day moving average. I'll try to zoom in here a little bit more. So the blue line is the 10-day moving average. We're at 831. They've been holding it down below the 10-day moving average today. So it popped up yesterday, closed below. Popped up today, currently below, got smacked down. S&Ps, let's go into SPY here. What are we doing on SPY? Currently down 16 cents. SPY is below the 10-day moving average here. It hasn't even gone above it. But the reason why we sold off is one of the just a few minutes ago, we went from 380 down to like 378, 379. And the reason was Boston came out and said that he supports a 100 basis points in terms of a rate increase. Because, going into what's going on here, we have inflation, CPI. And I know that everyone's going to cover this, but let's just talk about it, right? Because this is right now the most important thing that's happening right now. So in June, this is last month's numbers, not this month's numbers. Okay, inflation in June, CPI. This is CPI. This is not like real inflation, right? This is what the government is saying inflation is. 9.1% in June. Consumer price index was up from the 8.8%, which we'll view in here. Cost surge for gasoline, groceries, rent, and dental care. Sorry, I just had a funny thought. I saw. I don't know if you guys were on Twitter. Side note, on Twitter, Delta Dental was trending on on Twitter, and I don't know if you guys know. I don't even know if it's like probably not appropriate for me to even show it on stream right now. I don't even know. Is this still Delta Dental? Hold on. Let me play this. Let me play this clip. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble. Let's do it. What do you guys think? Should I do it? I should do it. I'm gonna do it. All right. So Delta Dental was trending on Twitter. Let me make sure you guys can hear this. Okay. So Delta Dental was trending on Twitter because of this video. Now let me play.
Happy Independence Day, America. Freedom.
So
Happy Independence Day, America. Freedom is brought to you by a bunch of guys with guns. We're celebrating freedom from England and Delta Dental. Happy Independence Day, America. Freedom is brought to you by a bunch of guys with guns. We're celebrating freedom from England.
Sorry. When I saw the dental prices here, it just made me think of that Delta Dental. like what is going on? Like, you know, like let's go. Like look at this. What is this? Look what this dude is wearing. Right. Look what he's wearing here. He's got these. Hold on. Let's pause here. He's got these jean shorts high up here, whereas basically his D's basically out right now. His D's basically out. Wearing these boots, popping off for freedom about guns, and saying freedom from England and freedom from Delta Dental. I mean, come on, man. I mean, that's wild. That's wild. So anyways, carry on. So we have inflation. Sorry, I got sidetracked. So we have inflation. If we're checking out the CPI numbers here, let's make this bigger. You know, this is the government for you. Look at this. Look at this chart. They give you this piece of garbage chart here. Like, you can't even make it bigger. Anyway, so we went from March 8.5, April 8.3, May 8.6, and they were expecting 8.8. We hit 9.1, and you know, obviously everyone's calling for a top of inflation. We're at a 40-year high on inflation. You can look this up at bls.gov yourself. And I mean, we're in for a ride right now. I mean, inflation right now is at a 40-year high, right? CPI delivered another shock. Like, come on, guys, it's not shocking. We as a consumer, I think it's shocking to these people because they don't actually ever pay any prices like for groceries. They don't pay at the pump. They don't pay for anything, right? CPI delivered another shock, and as painful as June's higher number is, equally as bad as the broadening sources of inflation. He's part of the Navy Federal Credit Union. So the thing is, with this number, it is actually going to want the Fed to do possibly, I mean, they were maybe going to do 50 basis points, but now it's probably for sure they're doing 75 basis points, and they might even do 100 basis points. You know, and let's just get it over with, guys. Like, let's rip off the Band-Aid. What do you guys think? Let's rip the Band-Aid off. I mean, I've been saying this for a long time. If you're going to go up, let's just do a 300, 400 basis points. Let's knock this out. I mean, but everyone's just like, no, we don't want to, they would rather do, and this is the thing about the pandemic we were talking about during the pandemic. They would rather it be a very slow, painful bleed. And during the pandemic, they did the reverse, the opposite, right? So they were throwing everything at it. Let's go all the stimulus. Let's do this because we need to put the Band-Aid on it. But even before the pandemic, you had in 2019 EPS companies' earnings slowing down. Then the pandemic hit, made it much worse, and then they started doing stimulus, right? So I think that, I mean, obviously the Fed is very just reacting to what is going on here, but what they need to do is just be very, very aggressive here. And they say they're being aggressive. I mean, 75 basis points is not a little, but I mean, hopefully I'm interested to see what happens here in July and August, because, you know, typically during July, August, you know, we're in the prime summer months where you're going to be seeing, you know, gas going higher and stuff like that. But we've just had over a 20-day decrease in gas, in oil prices, right? Which is probably not going to be it's not going to really be reflected in that June number because that was at the tail end of June, right? So I think it's going to be interesting. Other thing is yield curve inversion between 10-year and 2-year rates reached biggest point since 2000. So basically what this means is if this doesn't go the other direction, I mean, pretty much going to have a recession. I mean, that's what it means. I mean, it's I don't know how else to say it, right? So core CPI strips out volatile food and energy prices, pop 5.9. The core is chugging along at a frightening clip, says Michael at Wells Fargo. He said Fed funds future are now pricing 81 basis point rate hike for July. That would indicate that some of the market expect a Federal Reserve rate hike of more than 75 basis points. With core running this strong, the Fed can't ignore it. This is a bad number. Okay, so I mean, I think at the end of the day, like the Fed, everybody, they did this to themselves. You know, they did this to themselves. They did this to themselves, right? But the one thing that I do find interesting, because I actually have been tracking this for quite some time, is the federal balance sheet actually didn't start going down in June. So in June, we were supposed to have quantitative tightening, reduction of the Fed balance sheet. Right now, like early June, like June 8th, we started to go back up, right? We started to go back up in June, and I was kind of getting worried. I'm like, hey, I mean, is the Fed really this bad? Like where all credibility is gone? Because they said specifically with specific dates, with specific amounts, that they're going to start reducing the balance sheet, and then they started increasing it. And so from June 8th, starting June 8th, it went from June 8.9. 32, 8.98918. Sorry, it's hard to track this because like almost 9 trillion. It's a lot of numbers here. June 15th it went up, June 22nd went up. But however, these readings here in end of June, June 29th, and July 6th, major reduction. If we kind of line this up with the chart here, let me pull the chart here. Line this up with the chart. Let's line this up. So we had, let's see here, June. Let me pull those dates up. What was the dates? So June 15th, which was back in here. It's kind of interesting. June 15th, it started to go up. And then now we're starting to go down as of July 6th. July 6th, I guess it's not really making that much impact on the market. We're kind of like right now, if you look at SPY, we're kind of just like pinging back and forth. Now, this is a very wide range. I mean, when the wheels fell off here back in early June, I mean, right now we're just kind of pinging back between 375 and 390. I mean, it's not a bad place to be. I mean, it's better than crater mode, right? I would rather it kind of base than like we just keep dropping. No one wants to see that. I mean, before you get a recovery, you're gonna need to get some sort of basing. And I just realized you guys can't see my screen at all. You just can't see my screen at all. What I was talking about here was the basing here between 375 and 390. It seems like they would rather wreck the company, watch unemployment rise, initiate foreclosures and repossessions, than raise rates, possibly hurt the job creators of wealthy. Yeah, I agree. And mortgages are coming. Mortgages are, kind of slowing down here. This just came out like right before I did the live stream here. So basically the mortgage industry, I mean, to be fair, a lot of the mortgage industry was running on refinance rates, right? However, Loan Depot on Tuesday unveiled a plan to cut thousands of jobs and reduce costs significantly as higher interest rates sink mortgage demand, becoming the latest company to warn that the housing market is due for a steeper turnaround after a pandemic-era home buying frenzy. I mean, it's crazy. They got these I look at this article, they got this crazy timeline here. So Loan Depot is going to cut 2,800 jobs by this year, expects to cut 2,000 more by the year's end, as trying to save, cut costs by $400 million. And they currently employ 8,500. So they currently employ 8,500. They're going to reduce their workforce by 50%. After 2 years of record-breaking volumes, the market has contracted sharply and abruptly in 2022. Now, the thing is, what we have to see is how are home prices going to react like this. Sure, we're getting some declines in pricing and price drops, but I mean, a lot of people a lot of people were placing their home way above market value. Okay, I mean they were. I saw some homes here that were just like ridiculous. They were placing. I mean, it was wild. I mean, like 50,000 more than that, and they weren't getting any offers. I mean, there were. I mean, it's an interesting time, and the people that bought homes to flip, like if you bought a home in end of 2021, 2022, or 2020. You were trying to remodel it, and if you didn't flip that within that time period, you're going to have a hard time now to make that money back, because you also faced increase in costs in not only labor but materials, lumber, everything, and a lot of people had to wait a long time to actually do those remodels because of the supply chain and how long it took to get stuff, right? So it's gonna be interesting right here. Loan Depot is far from alone in laying off employees. Wells Fargo, JP Morgan have also announced round layoffs, cutting thousands of jobs in their home lending departments last month. Real estate firms Compass and Redfin cut 450 jobs. So it's gonna be interesting here. Right now, I mean, I was talking to a buddy this morning. It takes a while for housing to correct. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I want to really buy. I really want to buy." Like when you want to buy a home, that bad. I mean, right now there's a lot of people that want to buy a home, right? And if everybody wants to buy a home, nobody's gonna get it to buy a home. Let's just put it that way. If everyone's just waiting for price drops, I mean, we're gonna have to go through some pain. Like if you want inventory to free up and you want that whole thing, we're gonna have to go through some pain here. And I don't think we have necessarily like kind of caught up to that, right? So let's pull up the market here. I mean, right now we're still kind of chugging along. What are you guys up to today? How did you guys fare in the market? You make money, lose money. I lost a little bit of money today, which is kind of painful noticing that. Like, I think what I was struggling today with, so on the NASDAQ, when I was placing trades this morning, the amount of points, now let's pull up the 1 minute chart like earlier this morning, right? I'll zoom in here. I mean, these are 1 minute candles. This thing was moving 44. This is to 512. This is 30 points. Here's another 20-point candle. And that's the biggest thing when trading futures is like the amount that it moves and how much money it costs you. They kept kind of stopping me out. And volatility was a little bit higher. I mean, we had VIX up at around 28.50 this morning, and it just got decimated. But I've been having a heck of a hard time adjusting to the amount of points that it is moving when trading futures, that is. I actually had a pretty good trade today on Carvana. I was holding the credit call spread. Closed it out for 50% profit. I mean, this thing, Carvana, I mean, went all the way up to 28, came down here. Even today, I mean, this thing moves a lot. Came here, tested 22.50. I closed it out when it was sub 21 this morning. Excuse me, on Carvana. I closed it out like sub 21. And this thing then ripped up to 22.50. I mean, it's amazing to me like how this stock operates. Now, options volume on Carvana is pretty poor. I will say that. Like, option volume is pretty poor on Carvana. But like this thing is moving intraday like 10%. I mean, it went from 20.50 to 22.50. Now it's back down to 21. I mean, Carvana's probably, I mean, come on. Look at the chart. 376 down to 21. And everyone's like, how much more can we go down? But I think everyone's scared of like the used car inventories and defaults on car loans. And I mean, if we look over the last 2 years on this thing, this is the worst that it's been. Let's go back 3 years. Let's see here. So going back, I mean, pre the vid, which was back down in here, we had a crazy dip, right? It went from 110. It was trailing along. It's actually doing pretty good. But this is the lowest it's been since. I mean, we're actually at what price? What was the low here? 22. So we're actually right. We're actually on Carvana. We're right at We're right at 2020 lows. We're right at 2020 lows here. I mean, this thing gave it all back. And before, I mean, it was bad. It was bad. Like pre 2020, the stock was, let's say, $100, 90 to $100. It came all the way down to 20, bombed out, and ripped to 376. And that kind of just shows you like how things really got crazy. I mean, another one like Peloton. Peloton went from, I mean, the 2020 low right here was 18. It's now trading at 9. So it's trading at half. Peloton is trading at half of the 2020 low. I mean, that is crazy. That is crazy. Now, I mean, Peloton's going to have issues. And they just announced yesterday, Peloton announced yesterday that they're not going to be making hardware in-house. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're like getting bikes from China or something, or like what. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. If everybody knows what that means, let me know. But I mean, this thing really, really cratered. I mean, Roku's 2020 low is 58. I mean, it's at 87, which is not great after falling from 490. But I mean, are we in, or were we in the bubble, and are we out of the bubble, or is this bubble still going to go? Because if we pull up, let's say we pull up, like, let's say Apple, right? Let's pull up Apple and let's go back. Now, Apple is not the same company it was like today, right? Or back during the crash. But let's just go back to 2000. Let's go back to 2000 on Apple. Now, I mean, Apple's had so many stock splits. So this stock, basically went from 17 cents to $1.30 all the way back down to 24 cents on Apple. Then the iPhone, iPad, all that stuff started to kind of catapult it to the next area. But it took, after 2000, so let's just call it 30 cents. After 2000, it took another 3 years for it to get back to where it needed to be. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft's probably a little bit more fair because they haven't really invented anything other than in Windows, which was already out at the time. But I mean, Microsoft. So this was it reached 60s, came down to 2025, right? During 2000. And they didn't get that back. 60. So they didn't get that back until 2016. So it took Microsoft 16 years. It took Microsoft 16 years to get back their 2000 market bubble high. Tech bubble high, I guess you can call it. 16 years. I mean, that's just crazy. So the question is, like, are we in a current bubble, or we gave enough back? I mean, a lot of people like Jim Cramer, right? Saying like, oh, we're at the we're near the bottom here, right? But I mean, actually Microsoft looking pretty toppy back in here, right? NASDAQ. I mean, can this? I mean, this could potentially just be a very slow bleed down. That's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this could just be a slow bleed to the downside. Man, they are pinning this thing right now. Yeah, they're just pinning this thing. Apple's stuck. I mean, everything is just kind of range bound. But it's interesting how they just brought it back into range. They pops out of range, comes right back to that overnight range, every time. And that's why, like, it's dangerous to hold trades too long in this market, because sure, maybe you nail the short, but you don't want to stay short, and maybe you nail the long, but you don't want to stay long, because I mean they definitely try to test you in every way. I mean, like back in here, it was at 1 o'clock Central Time. I mean, Nasdaq fell from 820 down to 740. It gave up 80 points in 5 minutes. So like, it flushed a lot of people out, and then what did they do? What did they do? They brought it right back up to where they flushed it. So if you held, let's say you bought here, you held because you were expecting it to go higher. You wouldn't make any money over the last hour, but you took on an enormous amount of risk. And you held, and you're still break even. And I think for me, like, that's why the market is hard at this point in time, because it seems like you have to risk more to make some some money in this market. Sure, probably should have got stopped out here. If you were smart, you would have had to stop here, right? Because I mean, in this market, you can't just let a trade ride anymore like you could. You used to be able to let a trade ride, let it go, put a stop on, and just like go for lunch, have a nice day. This market, you come back, you put your stop on. You better hope your stop triggers first of all, because it could with this volatility and light volume, it could skip your stop and just like not stop you out if you have a limit order or whatever. Like it could just not stop you out, and you come back and you have a major loss. Like, you got to be careful. Like, you can't be messing around like that. But it is, I mean, we kind of have a little bit of a mixed bag. I mean, Shopify is not looking great. Let me pull up see what we got going on here. So earnings season is commencing here. So starting, what's tomorrow? Thursday. So tomorrow we're going to be having Morgan Stanley and Chase's earnings. And then going into the following week, we're going to have some big boys like Netflix and Tesla, right? But right now, the banks are going to start reporting. Banks right now, let's look up JP Morgan, right? So JP Morgan, yeah, I mean, it's at the lows. We're near the 52-week lows on this. I mean, let's see what it does, I mean, I'm not going to trade any earnings. I mean, I might not even trade any earnings like for this quarter, like just because I don't know what it's going to do. We've sold off a lot. Could we get a bounce? I mean, I think like the market will react to, like, if you have like a slimmer, like a very slim chance that there's good news, like any bit of good news, like this market will bounce. So it's like, well, do you just buy calls? No, because we could also get flushed out. Like, what if this earnings season we're at the forefront of like something terrible, right? Like, what if this earnings season is the catalyst to like take us down another 20-30%? You don't know. So like, if you don't know, like I always say, if you don't know, don't trade. Like, I don't know what the market is going to do this earnings season. Now, what I will say is people are super, super braced for it to go very bad. They're expecting bad numbers. So if the expectation's bad, then maybe we don't get like as big of a sell-off as we initially planned. Or maybe it is. Maybe it is. I mean, what do you guys think? You guys think this earnings season is going to be good, bad, flat? Well, we already know like Netflix is hurting. Airlines are going to be... What did Delta do? What did Delta do today? Delta had earnings. Not good. not good. What are they coming in here? So... earnings was 1.7 versus the actual estimated was 1.7. Actual was 1.44 EPS. Well, guidance is so. I mean, Delta sold off pretty bad. I'm guessing the other lines are reacting, but Delta sold off pretty bad on earnings. They're only down 48%. Not 48%, 4.8%. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting right here. It's about $1 off the lows. We have Delta. Delta. So next week we have American Airlines. What was American Airlines? Probably could short this. Probably could short American Airlines. I don't see how these earnings can be anything but flat or bad. But that's what I'm saying, man. Like, if everyone thinks they're going to be bad, how bad can it be? I mean, Delta is kind of showing us it's kind of bad. Delta's kind of showing us. But, I mean, you could maybe short American Airlines. Now, not investment advice, right? So, we got American Airlines coming up. Can maybe short that. United Airlines coming up for next week. Maybe just sell some premium, you know? Like, maybe just try to sell some premium and just relax. Like, sell some call spreads. Put some call spreads on this around 40-ish. Maybe just do that. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. But I mean, the one thing I will say is the market's moving kind of slow right now. What we got Tesla at right now? Tesla. What are you guys looking at? I'll go over some tickers here. What do you guys? What stocks you guys want to go over here? Tesla. Tesla, I will say, is chopping at the bottoms here, but it's like a super, super wide range, right? I mean, Tesla is just. And it crossed over the 50-day moving average here, popped up 760, double top 755, came back straight down. I mean, today was a wild day because I mean this thing came down to 674. 671 was the low. And I mean Elon wild right now because he's like on Twitter going nuts with the whole Twitter stock. What stocks you guys want to cover? Shoot some tickers my way. Ooh, Twitter's up 8%. I mean, I don't know about I don't know what they're gonna. I don't know what Twitter's gonna do. I'm just glad like nobody I know is invested in this. Because I mean I think that Elon does want Twitter, but I don't think he wants it at 44 billion. And like when he started putting the bid in, you know, he thought maybe he thought he was getting a deal at 54.20 when it was, you know, reached all-time highs at 73, and then Twitter was like, "Oh no, you know, this is way below all-time highs. We're going to take the poison pill, whatever, so you don't acquire us." But now they're like, "Hey, you know, now that given market conditions, everything, Elon, buddy, we need you. We need the golden parachute, Elon." You know, like it's just crazy. Like they would at this point. I mean, I don't blame them. Like if I was CEO, I'd be like, "Yo, let's make the deal so I can get my payday and get the F out of here," because like I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. You know, like it'd be way better. If you look at the hourly charts here. Look at the hourly charts. I have the hourly charts here. NASDAQ. I mean, just kind of just flat. S&P's flat. Apple's flat. Tesla kind of giving a little bit up here, but it's still. I mean, it's just they're just in this range. So if we're in this range, like it's gonna be hard to make money. You got to kind of plan ahead. YouTube's kind of like acting weird right now. oil, I didn't see this. So yesterday this hit a low of 93. They might as well close the market now. Yeah, FC, I agree, man. Oil hit a low of 93. I didn't see this. I don't know. I would be nervous to kind of short here, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you're shorting oil right now, I would be nervous. I mean, it's hanging on to the 200-day moving average here. What do you guys think? You think oil is gonna bounce? But yeah, that cratered yesterday. That went from 103 down to 95, 96. Today we had a super epic bounce here. Off of that 93.67. I mean, the good news, what I would like to say is, like, it did break the trend. I mean, we're below the 200-day moving average. We're below the 100-day moving average, where this thing has been riding up, right? This was riding up until June 14th. What happened June 14th? What was happening during this day? I don't know. Do you guys know? What was happening around this time? So June 13th, 14th, 12th. Do you guys know what happened? I already missed the entry on CL short. Only saw an article saying it was down 8%. Yeah, now it's up. This is wild. We got gold at today. I mean, like, it's gold. Gold is a hedge against recessions, you know, and here we are. But the thing is interesting thing about gold here, it does have some epic bounces right here. 17, 20, 25. Bounced here back last August and September. I mean, it could run here. It could run here. BTC, baby. Bitcoin, 20K. Bitcoin 100K. Now it can't even hold 20K. Bitcoin can't even hold 20K. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, our boy Domino's, though. Our boy Domino's today is holding strong, up $9, 2.5%. Domino's is going pretty good. not gonna lie. Domino's, you know, had a strong reversal off this 320 here back in April or May. May caught a bottom here at 321. I mean, if Domino's is ripping, what does that have to say about, like, us in the market? I try to think about these things. Like, what does that say? Like, if Domino's is ripping, what does that have to say? I mean, like, right now it looks like unless it gets rejected here, which it, might not be bad to kind of add small. See if we get a boost up to like 420. Domino's not offering good coupons anymore. I don't know. I have an order from Domino's in a minute, and they sent me some stuff. Let's see what the app is saying. I will say, you know who's killing the app game is McDonald's. McDonald's is killing the app game. The thing is, like, you know, if you, I'm not even signed in right now. I mean, if you look here, Domino's looks really good, but when you get it, it doesn't look anything like this. It looks so good. But when you get it, there's you know, it doesn't look like that. But McDonald's is killing the app game. I mean, let me show you McDonald's. And just so anybody asks, I have lost like 20 pounds in the last few months. So just because I have McDonald's app doesn't mean, like, you know, I'm getting thick with it. I don't want to hear it. I know it's not healthy, but, you know, when you got to eat. I mean, look. I mean, the way these points like rack up, they give you, like right now I'm on the verge of getting, what can I get here? So for 4,500 points right now, I can get a fillet of fish, I can get some fries, I can get, whatever. So it's just kind of crazy. And the thing is, the way you rack up points is like so quick. Oh, looks like things are taking a turn for the worse here, guys. Ooh, they couldn't hold on. All right, so we're starting to get a trend change here on NASDAQ. Let's see here. Chipotle offers free or BOGO burritos. Really? I'm not on the Chipotle app, but maybe I should do it. Because I was going, like, on this diet that I'm on, I go to Chipotle quite a bit, but I never signed up for the app. Pizza giveaway? Yo, we need to do a pizza giveaway bad. We haven't done one in a minute. What should we make people do to do a Domino's giveaway? Because it's not going to be free. We got to have them do something. What should we have them do? Yo, are we cracking here? So this is the last 30 minutes. So we have, what do we have? Right? We have 27 minutes left in the open. So NASDAQ went red again. S&Ps, when I started this stream, S&Ps were up. They were down 1 to 2 points. Now they're down 13. Yo, it might be creator mode. Might be creator mode into close here. Yeah, let's see GME. How's that holding up today? It's actually been holding up after they had their stock split announcement. They did get that flush when they got rid of when they got rid of their CFO, but they're not looking bad. Not looking bad here. Tested 200-day moving average today. This is very important. I mean, the last two times, so it tested it back here June 24th, came all the way down to 115. Then it tested this on June 7th, came back again to 115. So the question is it gonna break trend here, or are we gonna go back down to 115? Have them run a mile, like post their run from their Apple Watch, their Fitbit, because like there's no way we'd have to get stats. We would have to get stats. Pineapple pizza giveaway, bro. If you're buying pizza with pineapple on it, you don't deserve it. You're not getting the giveaway. If you win the pizza contest and you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to order that pineapple pizza, it's going to the next person. Just kidding, but not really. Yo, AMC actually kind of looking right. Probably could short some puts down in AMC. Short some puts, like 11 or 10 strike puts. Market right now is not happy. What do you think? What should we do? Stop the pineapple pizza hate. Thor's helping out AMC. I mean, this has been a good summer for movies because we, due to 2020, pushed back a lot of releases. I mean, you had what was supposed to come out in 2020 was Jurassic Park. You had the Minions movie that did great. That was supposed to come out in 2020. So all the 2020 movies are now coming out in 2022, and that has been helping. But I don't know. I mean, the way I see AMC is like it was a failing business before 2020, and it probably will return back to a failed status. But right now, it's got meme status. So, got to ride the wave, right? So I wouldn't mind shorting some puts down in the 10-11 strike zone. Yeah, Spies back down at 379. Just came down from 381 to 379. That's a pretty big drop. But still, I mean, like this range. Like, I mean, look at the range. The ranges are a lot. I mean, SPY range right now. It went from 390. We're now at 379. We hit as low as 373 today. The rallies are vicious. The drops are vicious. I mean, this market is not. It's not for the faint of heart, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you. This is probably the hardest market I've ever traded. Like, no doubt. This is probably the hardest market. Coming in tomorrow. Yo, Adele, what's going on, man? Coming in tomorrow, we have initial jobless claims. So jobless claims, we got producer price index. We got Mr. Christopher Waller, Fed governor, at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Friday will be big. Friday's going to be big with the retail sales. So, you know, got another Fed speaker. I mean, be careful of the Fed speakers because that's what happened today. There was a Fed speaker today, or I don't know if it was it was Bostic. He was talking about, you know, the rate increases and stuff. So they do impact the market more than ever before. More than ever before. So just keep in mind, like, that's what's going on. So we have quite a bit of data here. I mean, I do like this. This is a nice little bottom here, double bottom, 379.50. Trade this a little bit. Nice setup there if you're like trying to scalp. Nice setup there. Amazon. So Amazon has Prime Day. Have you guys heard about it? I haven't heard anything about Prime Day other than, like, is Prime Day lost its muster? Like, is it anybody doing anything for Prime Day, or is it gone? I'm trying to pull up the Amazon app here. Let's log on the app. There is nothing good. There's nothing good. And maybe it's nothing good because my wife shops on Amazon all the time, and what it's recommending is not for me. You know, it's like lipstick and hair straighteners. I don't want that. I don't even do that stuff on the weekends. Bought some on Prime Day. Get the gift card for some free cash. I don't know. This is like, man, Amazon went down to 106 today. It's so hard watching Amazon at this price right now. Amazon went down to 106 at 110 right now, and we're barely hanging on. They sent some employees home during Prime Day yesterday. I bet they sent the ones that were part of the union home, right? Hey, you're part of the union. You're going home. We live in some crazy times right now, and I think about one of the things that I've been thinking about, like, over the last year, or probably since 2020, right? Is you're kind of thinking, like, you know, our grandparents had crazy stories, our parents had crazy stories, and, like, we didn't really have anything that was that crazy. And, like, during, like, the Great Recession and stuff was probably the closest thing we came to. The Great Recession was probably the closest thing we've come to. I mean, unless you're in your 20s, to, like, you know, this is a serious moment, right? Unless you're in your 20s right now. But if you're in your 30s or above 30s, like in your 40s, I mean, you had a pretty cush life, you know? You had a pretty cush life for most of the time. But then the pandemic hit, and, like, we're all, like, beside ourselves. But, you know, I mean, thank God we haven't had a world war, or, you know, anything crazy like that. I mean, sure, I guess we had that. You know, we went to Iraq and Afghanistan. That was pretty bad, but Yes, Algo and I are following Amazon chart. Yeah, we did have 9/11. Over a $1 billion dark pool at 106, been holding for a few weeks now, acting strong. Well, they saved it to the Adele. They saved it to the penny day, 106.01. Huge buys down there, huh? Grandkids gonna ask about GameStop. What happened? Yo, if my grandkids ask about GameStop, I mean, we got a big problem because that means GameStop survived till my grandkids were born. Yo, Wolf, I did not forget about 2007, 2010. I just literally said that if you're in your 20s, the Great Recession didn't concern you. Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if GameStop survives to my grandkids, I mean, kudos to them, man. Buy shares now, then. Buy shares now. Right? Like, it's wild. I don't know. We're just stuck. We're literally stuck right now. Meta, let's see. What the? And they just deleted it off my watch list. Meta just got deleted off my watch list. Man, so we're at one. Man, it has not. I was thinking that it was going to break 160. This has not broken 160. BA? Bro. BA's doing great. Then they're pushing out the 737. I mean, I if you didn't show me the ticker, like you covered up the ticker and you said, like, what stock is this? I wouldn't have any idea because it looks bullish. I mean, buying right here is not a bad idea, honestly. Like, honestly, right now, like Boeing, the only thing that would worry me about Boeing is, like, after the vacations here, are we like pretty much dried up for travel? You know what I mean? That would be the biggest concern. Like, are we going to be dried up for travel here going into the rest of the summer and fall? I mean, a lot of people that are on vacation right now booked their trips when oil and gas and everything was pretty cheap. Like, I went to Cali in March, and it was cheap. It was cheap. I don't even know what it would be right now. I went to Disneyland. You know, we did the thing back in March, and it was cheap. Like, if you're, I haven't looked it up, but like, I can't imagine it would be great. New catalysts are like the play. Yeah, I mean, the best thing for us for BAs, Adele, probably fade the news, man. Like short the news. The chart, like, to me, Boeing chart always looks bullish, but then it always disappoints. Like, you're like, oh, this stock looks bullish, and then it just evaporates, and you're just like, what the heck happened? So on Boeing, what I started to do was just like, hey, the good news is out, pumping the stock, short it. Yo, Emmanuel, what's going on? We going up? I don't know. Target's trying to go up. I mean, to be fair, it's got quite the gap here. To be fair, I mean, it's got a 40-point gap right in here. Yo, if Target goes, let's say to 75, I'll buy some. But I think to me it's still, I was thinking that like 268 is too expensive. Now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So within 6 months, it's almost cut in half. Instant thoughts will keep travel strong. Oh my goodness. VIX is trying to creep up right now. I don't know. Spy is not looking great here. I mean, what do you guys think? We got 14 minutes left in the trading session here. Is this thing gonna fall apart, or I mean, who's gonna get screwed here? Who's gonna get screwed today? That's the question. I mean, right now we're 14 minutes in. I do like this trade here. Like, I wish I took this trade right here. Bought the 379. So, like, it's going to have to break this 379 area on SPY. They saved it pretty nicely last time. Pretty good 379 to 381. This would have been a nice run right here. But VIX trying to creep up a little bit here. China stocks are up today, so we got Baba, Baidu. Didn't really go. I mean, they did flush a little bit here, 106.75 on Alibaba. Alibaba's really tapping out like this. It's coming down. It reclaimed the 200-day for 1 day. That's why you got to be careful. Like, this market, like, you can't just buy on a potential trend change. You really have to line up your shot. You can't be messing around, because now those people that bought like 120-ish area, I've gotten flushed pretty hard. Might be a buy here around 101 though. 101, 104. Might be a buy, but I don't know. Just saying. All right, we're coming to the close here. Let's see what it does. I'm definitely interested. Kind of see what we're doing. Will Smith, the like button. Yeah, you guys like the Power Hour streams? Should we bring them back? I used to check out the SPY Daily. I did look at it a little bit ago. Where'd it go? Yeah, I mean, on the daily, I mean, to me, as long as it's holding like 375, it's gonna be okay, you know. On the daily. But I do agree with you. I mean, it's on the edge. It's on the edge. I mean, if we look at the if you're looking at, let's say, the hourly candle here, I mean, it's not good today. I mean, this is the hourly candle on the S&Ps. I mean, stopped out right at the overnight chop and is now coming down, right? And I don't know if you guys are using hourlies, but the hourlies have really been helping me with the chop and getting entries, because the chop has been really bad. So I kind of confirm I'm confirming multiple time frames here before putting an entry on or trade on. I mean. Or getting an entry. All right, looks like it's not going to hold 379, man. Or maybe it will. That's the thing. Like, it'll try to bait you a little bit. Let's see what SPY does here. What are we doing? If they don't save it here, we might get the flushy flush. What MAs you're using? So I'm using the 10-day, the 50-day, the 100-day, and the 200-day. Now, for like intraday, like if you're looking right here at the 15-minute chart, and I'm looking right here on the 15-minute, 1 minute, and 5 minute, this is the 9 EMA. On the hourly chart right here, I'm using the 9 EMA as well as the 5 EMA. And the reason why I started using the 5 EMA as well to kind of confirm it is because of how fast this moves. Normally I don't use the 5 EMA, but I turned it on so I can react a little bit faster due to market volatility. But I mean, the things that I've had to do to like adjust my trading in this market has been like, I never even thought possible. This is crazy. All right, they're saving this 379 right now. You guys see that? They're saving 379 on SPY. Could be a low cost. Like if you're gonna trade it, like it could be a low cost 379 right here. Play the lows. Let's see what they do. Because that was a nice rip again, right off the bottom. Like I was looking at this trade back in here. This was a nice trade from 379 to 381. Can it repeat? I mean, it's gonna probably be harder because we only have 6 minutes left in the day. I don't know how much, guys. How much lag is? I gotta check my stream settings here because I haven't streamed in a while. How much lag is between the live stream and the real-time market that you guys are viewing? Like how close is it? I guess I could look it up here on my phone, kind of see. Let's see here. How much lag is? Let's see here. I'm trying to put it on here. It's not bad. $30 seconds. Okay, so not terrible. Not terrible. There's a low latency option, but maybe I'll try to do that one. I just have like normal latency. They also have an ultra low latency, but I don't know if that will impact the quality of the stream. I use 1348-200 on the 5 minute and 4 hour. Not that it helps, but really hold overnight. I'm in and out quick. Same. I've almost, unless I'm selling premium, I've almost not. I'm just not doing anything in regards to swing trading right now. So you could have got a quick pop here, 379 to 379.70 about. Man, they're moving. They move this fast. Google looks terrible right now. Pulling it up. If you look at Google's hourly chart right here. Google hourly chart. I mean, we're hitting the lows here on Google. Google's looking rough. When was the last time you swung? Like, just like naked options, Adele. Yeah, I mean, I probably last time I swung regular options was end of 2021. Maybe early 2022. Come on, pump it back up into range here. Pump it back up into range. That's what I'd like to see. But right now, I've been swinging like credit spreads, credit call spreads, stuff like that. I did mess around with some of the butterflies, but I don't know if I don't know. A lot of guys like the butterflies, but like I don't know. I don't know if I really like the butterfly that much, like the broken wing butterfly. I mean, it's okay. I don't know. Maybe I just need to get better at it because I wasn't really into it. Yeah, I mean, is this like Adele? Like, how can I swing trade naked options when, like, and then the market is all over the place? We'll have massive rallies where we can gap up 1,000,000 points. Like we were looking like, you know, if you look at SPY this morning, right? SPY hit pre-market 385 and came down to 373. I mean, this, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of butterfly. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. But I don't know. Maybe I just don't have the patience for, like, to be a butterfly trader, you know, because you need an extreme level of patience. And I get you can really maximize your profits. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I've had some good winners on them. I just don't know if if it's for me. Because, like, if you waste your time doing something, you may be more beneficial doing something else, you know? That's what I'm trying to figure out. All right, 1 minute to close here. I mean, they're not doing that bad, but still not going anywhere. They're just kind of pinging it back and forth. But that's what I'm saying. Like the amount of money that they ping it, the amount of points it pings back and forth is just crazy these days. Market's going down, VIX is going down at the same time. Kind of interesting. Not really, no real spike of volatility here end of day. I mean, it's just a little bit off the lows. Oh man, this is now they're doing now laying in 2 seconds in. 2 seconds to close, they're laying in. Wow. Wow. So in the last 2 seconds, they like cratered it. And they're still going. I mean, good thing you could still. I mean, good thing is you could still, if you're in SPY, you could trade for the next 15 minutes. If you were stuck in a position, if you don't want to swing it, if you're in SPY, you can close it out still. Up to 15 minutes after close, but today they did dirty. I mean, it's all good, guys. We live, you know, to fight another day. I'm gonna pop off the stream. You guys, thanks for hanging out with me. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.